Hello everyone and welcome to Tall and Atheist. This is our first ever intelligent game design conversation. I'm Ashley Foster and my co-partner on this endeavour is Christopher Evans.
I feel like saying in advance that it's called intelligent is perhaps overselling things, but we'll see.
Intelligent game design. Obviously it'll jibe at our creationist friends. Most people have got an idea for a game, and people are talking about their ideas for games all the time. Ideas are like bumholes. Everyone's got one, yeah? But it's still, nevertheless, fun. Even if it's just fun to your small circle of friends to talk about your great new game idea, isn't it, Chris?
Yes.
How often do you talk about game ideas to colleagues and friends?
I would say buy to try weekly.
Yep. So, I've been throwing a few ideas around in my head. But first of all, let's start with our credentials. So, people might not know much about us yet because we've only just started the channel and just getting the ball rolling, and they've got to learn our personalities, what we do in our, our day jobs and our daily lives. And you, Christopher Evans, the listeners at home might not know, you are a famous game designer.
Nope.
You've worked at such companies as Sega.
Yeah.
And that bingo place.
Yeah.
And many might consider you the creative drive behind such iconic characters as Sonic the Hedgehog. You've been credited with creating Sonic All-Stars Racing, and you also worked on Alien's Colonic Marinade.
All of the above is true.
So pretty much you have a in-depth knowledge of the fundamentals of game design and have made an indelible mark on the game industry.
Yeah, sure, let's say that.
And I've read up on Wikipedia a few things about you as well. Apparently in May 2006, you won the Sony Music Radio Personality of the Year award.
That is true.
So I think when it comes to game design, your opinion is value. It's about as much value as a Chillwind Yeti, in my opinion.
Yes. Chillwind Yetis know their shit.
My credentials are, I was in Batman, The Dark Knight Rises, and I did a thing with Martin Clunes once.
I'm just gonna get a quick Wikipedia fact on you.
Go on then.
Ashley Foster guilty of manslaughter. Okay.
I did kill that boy once. So my idea for our first intelligent game design conversation is, well, they say when you're creating something, you should like, if you're a writer, you should write what you know.
Okay.
Right? And what most people probably don't know about me is I'm a dog trainer. And my specialty is working German Shepherds, and we train our German Shepherds in a sport called Schutzhund. It's not a well-known dog sport. It is in the country of its origin, Germany, and around the world there are pockets of enthusiasts. In America, it's quite big. In the Scandinavian countries and Germany, in even places like China and Vietnam, it's growing massively. But over here, it's not so well known. So I thought to boost the popularity of this fantastic sport, we could create a Schutzhund simulator.
I'm already on board.
So my expertise is in the flamboyant name generation design.
That is a talent of yours.
So I thought I'd use words that are trending right now in the title. So I thought Schutzhund Simulator 2012, because 2012 has that brand name association with the Olympics.
Yeah.
And there was a TV show called 2012. I mean, what happened in 2013? Nothing.
2012's hot right now.
2012 is hot. So Schutzhund Sim 2012, subtitle, The Rise of Kaiser. Because it's got to have that R word that generally vaguely means something cool, like Revelations or Revengeance.
Yeah.
We could possibly spell rise in an obscure way, maybe with a Y.
Or a Z.
A Z.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The Rise of
and a
Kaiser.
3.
Yeah. Backwards 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's as far as I've got. Now, Chris, this is where you come in with your.
So you brought a name to the table.
Maybe I should break Schutzhund down for people as well that don't know.
Yeah.
So I'll explain what Schutzhund is and how it works in real life, and then you as a game designer can bring your interpretation to the table and figure out how the mechanics of a game based around this sport might work. So Schutzhund is basically a sport that's broken down into 3 categories. You have your trainer, your handler, and the dog, and you train the dog to do 3 different things. Firstly, there is tracking, where the dog uses its nose to search for people and objects. So imagine, someone's robbed your house. The dog could then follow the scent of that person and find any evidence that's been left behind. There's obedience, where you teach the dog to do, all different obedience things like heel work, positions, retrieving dumbbells over jumps and A-frames and all sorts of things. And then there's protection, which is the most iconic part of it. Schutzhund actually means protection dog in German. So the dog has to find the criminal and has to detain the criminal and bite them on the sleeve arm, and it's all very dramatic and exciting. So as a game designer, how would you go around putting together a game based on a dog sport?
Okay, let's go discipline by discipline.
Okay.
So first up,
tracking.
Okay, I foresee tracking as you're going to be playing as the trainer.
Yes.
And I think you're going to just have a series of commands that the AI dog may or may not pay attention. I mean, let's get this on the table straight away. Simulator games are shit.
You make your own fun in a simulator game.
The basic mechanics should work as poorly as possible, because you don't want to go too far outside the simulator mold. For example, how many people would you say on average would be watching a Schutzhund event?
Well, at the World Championships, there were 30,000 spectators.
30,000. Okay, so if there's 30,000 people...
Plus everyone who watches online these days. It's streamed live and everything.
Okay, 30,000 people there, so we'll need maybe 20 character models and just repeat them over and over again. That's
Yeah.
the sort of style that you have to go for with a simulator game.
The Gran Turismo model.
Yeah. So that being said, we need the dog AI to be quite poor.
Well, the way Dad talks about tracking and how it works in the dog's mind, he imagines that the dog can smell, like the smell of the person that the dog's tracking is like a colour in the dog's brain. And like all the animal tracks, all the rabbits that have run across the track, or they're all different colours to the dog. The dog sort of sees the smells with its nose. And it reminds me a bit of, in Twilight Princess.
Yeah, actually, that was quite a good... Okay, yeah, let's do that. So we can have different.
But then
colours.
that would mean you're playing as the dog. The problem with tracking is you basically you're told where the track starts and you tell the dog track, and then the dog goes. You're not allowed to influence it in any way.
Okay, so you have to play as the dog. So yeah, we'd have some kind of smell-o-vision, and there'd be sort of a number of different coloured, smoky trails of smell, and you have to follow them as the dog. But you couldn't just have follow this trail, because that'd just be following a trail from A to point B. It's not great. So you'd have to have sort of periodic events, randomly generated events, where it'd be like, oh no, he's gone near a fox and now the scent's changed colour or something. And then you have to like, oh, there's 2 different coloured trails here. Let's check what the fox might be. There might be a little fox in the area. And like, oh, well, the fox has got a red smell, so it must be the blue trail for the man. And then, oh no, he's gone through a swamp. Now it's gone green. There's your gameplay.
The way they use it in Twilight Princess is they use it to find treasure. And one of the parts of tracking is the dog has to find articles that's been left behind. and they have to lay down and indicate the article to the handler.
Oh, well, there we go. The stuff you find is costumes for your dog trainer.
Or you could pay.
Well, clearly there's going to be microtransactions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be hunt around this field for 17 days and you might find the cool top hat. Or just buy it for £3.
The other thing I was thinking of is it's because there has to be some sort of training. In my mind, there has to be a training phase of the game, and then the actual competition part as two sort of separate things. Because it's a bit like, the way I see it's a bit like Pokemon. You're building up the dog's stats. So maybe at first the dog can see all these colours, but you can't really differentiate between them very well. So it's a bit hit and miss. And the more you train the dog, the more clearly the dog can see the colours.
The training mode is clearly going to be like the training in Fight Night. Where you you're in a gym, and then you sort of mash A to weightlift.
Well, yeah, you could start as a puppy, and the puppies do these little scent pads, like totally different to like a real trap, but they learn initially to learn to associate the smell of crushed grass with food. And they learn that outside of the little pad of crushed grass there's no food, and inside the crushed grass pad there is food. And then you transfer that into a straight line of footprints with food in each footprint. So you could have all these little mini games. That's perfect. The Fight Night thing is excellent. Build up the stamina and the dexterity of the nose.
Cool. Okay, so what was the second part?
So the second part is obedience. You're basically giving the dog commands to do things. It's normally like a set pattern, but for this sort of thing, I was thinking more like Sonic and Mario Olympic games. Like it's sort of like athletics. See,
first thing that I thought of is rhythm action.
Right.
Clearly, there's music because why not? all their simulator games have Europop, so we'll get some Europop in there.
Oh, so you're reading my mind because I was thinking, obviously, I will provide the music for the game.
Well, Europop's going to sell it big in Germany, which is going to be where the biggest market for the game's going to be. So we'll have that.
It's going to be a rhythm-based dance revolution.
So I think there's going to be rhythm involved. It's going to be like, there's a Z coming down the screen, press Z. Oh, and you've done a backflip or whatever they do. I don't understand this sport.
You've made it far more interesting than it really deserves to be. So I really like that rhythm-based approach. Yeah. Because it would be quite complicated otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And everyone likes a rhythm game.
Everyone does like a rhythm game.
They're trending right now.
They're hot on the streets.
Mm-hmm. So the last and the most important part is the protection.
Right.
The dog has got to find a bad guy and bite the bad guy.
Well, yeah, I'm just seeing quick time events.
Yeah. You have to direct the dog around a series of hides where the dog's searching for the criminal. And the dog finds the criminal and it barks at the criminal until you come and collect the dog. And then you tell the man to go over and stand in a certain spot. And the dog guards the man, and if the man tries to run away, the dog has to run after them and catch them and stop them from getting away. And then you have to tell the dog to let go, and the dog must let go. And if it doesn't, or if it takes too long, you lose points. If it then lets go and it rebites the sleeve without the helper moving, it loses points. It's all different ways that you can lose points. It's very tightly... It's a very fine line, because the dog has to show that he has this intention to bite and the desire to bite the helper and the drive and the energy to do it. But you're taking the dog that wants to do that to the highest level of excitement, and then it still must show control. So you're like on a tightrope. You want the dog to be aggressive and you want the dog to be full on, but you also want the dog to totally be obedient and responsive to you. It's incredibly difficult.
Do you know what I'm seeing straight away?
Go.
Don't know if you played a little game called Mass Effect, or perhaps a little game called Knights of the Old Republic. I'm foreseeing a sort of good evil meter of sorts. And depending on what you're doing and how well it's going, your little meter goes one way or the other. And then if it's gone too far in the red zone, dog's gonna be like,
highway to the danger zone.
yeah, it'll get all non-obedient and stuff.
Yeah. Bloodthirsty. Okay, I like that. That's
and then
good.
I foresee the final sort of, like the final thing, the money shot has got to be the
long flight, long attack.
The big attack.
That's the
so what we do
bit.
is it goes all like cinematic and third person, and you get on the left and right arrows, and you get.
And like the stadium's collapsing around you, and you're going down this linear corridor towards the
why not?
guy.
And it goes all slow motion, and you have to do this on the left and right arrows, and then depress then that's when your quick time events happen. It's like.
And then you press X to not die.
Yeah, spacebar to jump. Like, bam, jump at him. Then it's like, oh no, he's swinging a pipe at you. Press D to dodge, and you press D, and your dog does like a barrel roll.
Yeah.
And then X to not die.
Yeah.
Then Y to bite. Yeah. And that'll be cinematic as.
That's okay. That works for me. And again, the training phase of the game can be all different exercises that teach you, build the dog's stats and teach you all the reflex things, muscle memory that you need to know for the final thing. And you can work your way up through club trials to national trials to the world championship.
Yes.
Where the Kaiser is crowned 7th best dog in the whole world. That's the end of the game.
And as as you like level up your dog, it can make the quick time events easier by moving the keys close together on the keyboard. So if you're like top level, it'll just be like QWER, and that'll be all you need. And you're like, yeah, I've got this. But if your dog's like all kinds of dag, it'll be like Z, left square bracket, 9 on the numpad, unplug the headphones from the back of your computer, and you have to be like, whoa, it's gone crazy.
A few other things I wanted to shoehorn in as like add-on bits. Breeding mechanics, a bit like Tamagotchi, sort of. I don't know any other games that like do breeding things. In Final Fantasy,
Pokemon.
You can breed chocobos. Pokemon again, yeah. So you get a dog, you build up its stats, you breed it, it breeds better dogs, because that's how it works.
That mode will be soundtracked with R. Kelly's Bumper Grind.
Yeah, you just. You're in. Yeah, that's an idea. And then obviously we'll do the obligatory Kickstarter campaign. Steam Greenlight, and we'll license the crap out of the name. So we'll own the word Schutzhund, Sim, the
dog.
Yeah. And anyone who uses those words in their games has to pay a blood sacrifice to the flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Hallowed be thy pasta.
I think we're on to a winner.
Well, that was a great conclusion to our very first intelligent game design talk. How do you feel that
I think that went well. I think that's it. We got a hit first time. We're like the trying to think of a game designer that did. Oh, with the new notch.
Yeah.
This is going to be I
think so.
I think as big as Minecraft is a reasonable target at this point.
Groovy. Well, that was great. That worked out just
good
as
work.
planned.
T-Fal.
Ooh.
It's 20 quid.
That's alright.
Scandal. Don't you think that's alright?
Woks are 20 quid.
Yeah, I suppose. I thought it was a bit of a skank. I saw the price, I was like, and I thought, well, I need one.
Where was that from?
Tesco.
Yeah. Cool.
And it doubles as a musical instrument.
Even better. It's right up past your street.
Yeah. Do some samba, T-Fal samba orchestra. And get sponsored by that sweet T-Fal money.
That is where the money is these days.